Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. As Bruce takes off his glasses, he's so vain. We are coming, well, at this point, we're live from two different locations. And, well, this is Spaghetti Junction Podcast, and we talk about things.
We just don't know where they're going to go.
Thank you. By the way, I'm Gareth, and he's Bruce. Um,
What's up, guys?
Sorry for the connection. It's South African weather, supposedly, Bruce is saying. So he's blaming it on the country.
It's my story that's my story, and I'm
He's going to
sticking
stick to it. You did check in that you're going to go on 1080p, hey, when you logged in.
Yeah, all the settings are the same. So
Well, okay. Anyways, so I'm sitting outside a sheep farm. No, not really. I've just got a really bright wall. So this is episode 100 that we finally got
it
to.
is.
We were going to
Wow.
be continuing episodes weekly. There was just a bit of a, what did I call it? A shit show.
Snafu.
Okay, that was your language you used. I was not as diplomatic about it.
Yeah, I know you
I
were.
No, it wasn't a great day. But anyways, we're back.
We are.
100 episodes.
Yeah, see, quite a milestone here.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good, eh? It is very good. You were saying that well, I guess we can gloss over 100 episodes, but yeah, we've survived.
Yes, we have. Yeah, I think it was. We did. I think it was. We're on 50 filmed episodes. I think you were saying. Hey, we got to. Was it 49 that we did audio, and then a full 50 that we did filmed.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, cool. And now it's on to the next 50 uh, in an international format.
That's right.
Okay, 50 filmed when we were actually in the same room,
Yeah,
and now now we're on different sides of the planet.
it's crazy how that works. So,
I know, I know.
but anyways, and here's too many more, as they say.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, and thanks for all the subs for holding on for that long. I know
yeah,
that there was a key few who were like with us like from the beginning, like right at the beginning.
yeah, correct.
Yeah, a key, and they've stuck with us. And may I say, as over time, I mean, as over time, over the time that we've been going, we have had more key people listening and watching. So
Yeah, yeah.
thank you very much.
Yeah, well, let's see how this new format goes, and hopefully, hopefully, the fact that we can now do more cool stuff on the
Yeah, we can
just
have some fun.
StreamYard and stuff. It's a little bit more visually. Um, what's the word? Stimulating,
It's
if you like.
stimulating. Yes, exactly,
I don't
exactly.
know.
I'm actually just trying to find episode 1 and just play it how we sounded like right at the beginning. It's going to be pure class. Hold on, let me find all the videos. Seeing as we've gone through 100 of them, and we've gone through some really cool topics. By the way, I'm just going through everything now.
We have, yes.
And if you guys haven't gone through all of our episodes, which you must, because we've done some really good ones. Going through things like obviously the Lauren Dickinson thing. Oh, I was going to play a video, hey, about that. So maybe just before we so I know that you've got something to chat about, and then we can show that the like latest of her being sentencing and so forth as to what's happened, because
Yeah.
we began on episodes what 49 about her.
Talk about that.
Yeah, about her. Yeah. Yeah. So definitely. I just want to play. Excuse me. I'm just gonna. We can have a little moment. Let me just share this quickly. This is only going to be in audio, by the way, obviously.
Yeah.
But so you're just going to see a blank screen. But oh, here we go. Have a listen to this. This is our first ever.
Hey, this is Gareth and Bruce. This is our first attempt.
Excuse the Wi-Fi. Oh no, now my Wi-Fi is being fun. You see, it's not just freaking first world people.
Well, there we go.
Oh, come on. I had it. There we go. Let's try this again.
Hey, this is Gareth and Bruce. This is our first attempt.
Oh, dear Lord. Well, it was our first attempt, okay?
It was,
I don't
yes.
know why it's doing that. It must be very, very, very old format, so it just doesn't like it. Anyways, so that's 100 down. Enough babbling. What did you want to let me know? You said you had something to share.
Yes, I have very good news. I have finally, after doing a lot of legwork and networking, been booked for my first solo acoustic gig.
Oh, nice one.
That will be next Sunday, the 3rd of September, at a little coffee shop in Boskrane. That's a suburb in Joburg for people who don't live in South Africa. So,
Okay.
yeah, and also did my first three set gig last Saturday night as a front man as well. 3 sets, man, 30 songs in one night.
30 songs.
Yeah, that was a pub. That was a full band.
I'm 10, 10, 10 kind of thing. Is that what
pretty
you
much.
mean by 30?
Yeah. Did you see the link to my show reel that I sent you?
You know what? Maybe I did.
Well, after the first 2 clips of the show reel,
Yeah.
that place was the Saturday night gig.
That was a Saturday night thing.
Yeah, it was a good gig. It's good. Made a good first impression, and the manager really likes us, and we're going to be back there in October. So
Nice one.
yeah,
That's very good. I just cut myself off there. I wanted to play a little bit. Let's see. Just
There
for
we go.
the fans. Oh. Okay, I don't... You know what? It's your South African has now just attacked my Wi-Fi. That is so
all good.
random.
You know
Oh,
what
there we go. No, I don't know what's going on. This is ridiculous.
Tell you
No,
what,
really,
dude,
this is terrible.
put the link in the description.
Link in the bio. Yeah. I'll do that. Sorry, I don't know why it's doing that. It really is bizarre. Okay, and you actually look a little bit clearer now, which... Oh, no, I lied. You don't. Okay, so you're doing solo stuff, basically.
Yeah, it's just gonna be vocal, acoustic guitar. It's just it's a small coffee shop at an actual butchery. They've got a butchery, and then they've got this little
At a
coffee shop and
butchery?
stuff.
Well, I guess you've got to start somewhere, I guess. If you're plunked in a butchery, there's only one way but up.
The coffee shop is outside. The butchery is inside. The coffee shop's outside.
Okay.
I won't be smelling any meat. It's fine.
Okay. And, make sure you keep your meat where it belongs.
Yeah.
Well, that's very cool.
Yeah. So I've been doing a lot of networking and stuff, and now obviously because now it's September and summer's coming, I think hopefully that's going to sort of pick up a little bit more. Still got some more places to go and visit, and so we'll see how it goes.
Okay. Nicely done, sir. Yeah, well, keep us up to date.
No, well, definitely.
So what's happening? Very cool. So before we get into our topic, as promised, we just want to keep it going with our following of this Lauren Dickinson, and hopefully the videos are going to work. I hope it hasn't been doing this like before, but hey.
Yeah, it's really strange.
Yeah, it is, eh? All right, let's see what happens with this one. If it bombs, well, then we may be doing our topics without video. Let's see what happens.
The 3 sisters killed in Timaru in 2021 died because their mother wanted them dead. That's the majority verdict from the jury, who found 42-year-old Lauren Dickinson guilty of murder. It rejected defences of insanity and infanticide, finding she killed her children in a clinical, calculated way. Now, just before we go any further, a warning: some details ahead may be distressing. Shortly, we'll look at the circumstances that led to the tragedy, but first, Lisa Davies has been in court throughout the trial. She joins us now live from Christchurch. Lisa, talk us through what happened in court today.
Well, Simon, as you can probably imagine, the courtroom was tense. It was highly emotionally charged. And after 15 hours, the jurors declared they could not reach a unanimous verdict. They were told to go back and see if they could reach a majority verdict, which they did. Child killer Lauren Dickerson looked stunned but remained calm after being convicted of murdering her young daughters in cold blood.
Do 11 of you find the defendant, Lauren Ann Dickerson, guilty of murder, or do you find the defendant, Lauren Ann Dickerson, not guilty of murder?
Guilty of murder. Guilty of murder. Guilty of murder.
3 identical verdicts for 3 little girls. Her defence team looking at the jury in disbelief. Her parents, who've been in court every day of the trial, became emotional in the public gallery, issuing this statement of love and support.
This was not our daughter, but a debilitating mental illness which resulted in an awful tragedy. Our beloved Leonie, Carla and Maya were taken from this life to another as a result of this crippling disease.
This is the very kind of case that the law of infanticide was designed for.
But the jury didn't accept she was still suffering from postpartum depression when she ended the lives of 6-year-old Leonie and 2-year-olds Maya and Carla in a lengthy, violent attack. Also finding she wasn't insane and knew what she was doing was morally wrong.
Okay. So there it is.
Yeah.
There's still got to be sentencing as to as to how long it's going to be, but it's definitely going to be a very long time.
Yeah.
It's just interesting as to, so basically the jury didn't buy into the whole thing that she was unstable and, and not of sound mind when she did it.
Yeah. Oh.
Which just makes you think, how can a mother do all that? But I don't know.
Yeah, sometimes it just, those decisions get made. It's weird. Sometimes you can't. It's almost like, how do I put this? It's almost like she knew. They came to the verdict that she knew what she was doing, but it also doesn't seem like she was in her right mind.
No.
Because I mean, how does a mother?
No mother's going to do that.
Yeah, so it's almost like a bit of both kind of thing. Not in a state of mind, not in the right mind, but also knowing exactly what she was doing. It's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's a mixture, to be honest. But exactly. I think that there's part of it where something wasn't right. Something didn't click over. But definitely guilty, and she can get up to life imprisonment. So we'll see where it goes. Sure. Yeah. All right, that was a bit of a feedback. Heavy news, but we said that we would keep you up to date with what's going on. When there's sentencing, we'll probably we'll report on that.
That's it.
Right, so that away. Today we are continuing from our previous topic, which was around what is not a woman, or what is a woman, whole thing around transgenderism and so forth. And Bruce, take over. Where are we going now?
So now we're taking a look at the slightly sort of darker side. Our last episode was kind of like a little bit of a lighter discussion.
Yeah.
And now we're having a chat about how much actual regret there is from people who have decided to transition to a different gender and have now realized that that was one of the biggest mistakes of their lives, and now they are sitting with these sort of irreversible changes. A lot of people have had irreversible surgery, and are really and deeply regretting what they've done, because the body and biology fight back, it seems.
Yeah.
Biology is so set in stone that mentally and physically the human body fights back against this kind of stuff and adds to a myriad of other problems that are now added on to sort of the mental things that they're already going through. If they thought things were really tough before they transitioned and thought maybe the transitioning and the surgery would sort of help with that, they're discovering that it doesn't, and now they're stuck with these added issues.
Yeah, yeah. We do have, what did I say, two videos, which will draw into
Yeah.
it. But yeah, a lot of it is regret and what has come out, not just on these videos, but just, we research and do a whole pile of things before we do this, and a constant I can't remember the word I'm looking for, but basically there was a constant going throughout all of the stories is that the person was just young, and they were trying to work out their sexuality or their feelings, and when it was when the choice was when that was mentioned to parents or to medical practitioners, the opportunity and how quick it went for them to change, to do all the surgery and so forth, was remarkably quick, and it didn't
Yeah.
ask a lot of questions. It didn't offer just well, let's sit down, let's talk about it. Like let's have some real in-depth chats with the therapist or whatever to work through this before we just say, hey, here you are, I feel like this. Oh well, then you must need need this surgery. And a lot of them, after their first appointment with the doctor, they were already signing forms for them to take to their insurance.
Yeah. It's very scary how many gender affirming counselors there are. So they basically go to this person who's supposedly a counselor, you're supposed to go to talk through these issues, and all they do is just completely and utterly agree with the fact that you need to transition to another gender. So it's this gender affirming therapy, where it's like, I feel like a girl, but I'm a boy. Yes, you are a girl. You should go ahead with this. That's basically all they do. And then so many of the doctors and the surgeons are not going, okay, hold on a sec. Let's just talk about this. I think a lot of it has got to do with there's a lot of money and revenue that comes in to hospitals.
Definitely.
And I was just thinking about this morning before we went on, and the Hippocratic Oath is first do no harm.
Yeah.
And I mean, so many of these doctors and surgeons they don't have any shame. They're just doing it without making sure that person has gone through a serious amount of counseling with an actual licensed professional.
Why do you bring that up?
No, I'm just saying.
No. I'm just saying the license thing.
A licensed professional counselor.
Yeah, because I would imagine that you would hope that they would go to someone like that anyways. Because I would imagine that you would have to be licensed to apply for the insurance money there.
Yeah, but I don't know how many of these. What's scary is how many of these sort of gender affirming counselors get licenses for that. I don't know how they.
No,
I don't know how
idea.
that works. Anyway, sorry, I'm off the topic.
Carry on.
Yeah, no. So that's why. So it's. Sorry, I'm done with that statement. I haven't got anything else to say. Sorry.
No, it's all good. Just gonna play the first of the two videos.
Cool.
And we can talk around those. These are basically conversations we found. Two interviews with people. With people who had gone through the detransitioning and how it's impacted them. and I believe this is not that one. We're gonna find. There we go. I'm gonna do this one quickly. Here we go.
My name is Chloe Cole, and I'm a detransitioner. Another way to put that would be, I used to believe that I was born in the wrong body, and the adults in my life whom I trusted affirmed my belief, and this caused me lifelong, irreversible harm. I speak to you today as a victim of one of the biggest medical scandals in the history of the United States of America. I speak to you in the hope that you will have the courage to bring the scandal to an end and ensure that other vulnerable teenagers, children, and young adults don't go through what I went through. At the age of 12, I began to experience what my medical team would later diagnose as gender dysphoria. I was well into an early puberty, and I was very uncomfortable with the changes that were happening to my body. I was intimidated by male attention, and when I told my parents that I felt like a boy, in retrospect, all I meant was that I hated puberty, that I wanted this newfound sexual attention to go away, that I looked up to my brothers a little bit more than I did to my sisters. I came out as transgender in a letter I sent on the dining room table. My parents were immediately concerned. They felt like they needed to get outside help from medical professionals, but this proved to be a mistake. It immediately set our entire family down a path of ideologically motivated deceit and coercion. The gender specialist I was taken to see told my parents that I needed to be put on puberty-blocking drugs right away. They asked my parents a simple question: would you rather have a dead daughter or a living transgender son? The choice was enough for my parents to let their guard down, and in retrospect, I can't blame them. This was the moment that we all became victims of so-called gender-affirming care. I was fast-tracked onto puberty blockers and then testosterone. The resulting menopausal-like hot flashes made focusing on school impossible. I still get joint pains and weird pops in my back, but they were far worse when I was on the blockers. A month later, when I was 13, I had my first testosterone injection. It's caused permanent changes to my body. My voice will forever be deeper, my jawline sharper, my nose longer, my bone structure permanently masculinized, my Adam's apple more prominent, my fertility unknown. I look in the mirror sometimes and I feel like a monster.
Yep.
Sure. It's scary that it's scary that they sort of immediately, or it's almost like immediately sort of said to the parents that suicide was almost like a done deal kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost seemed like that's what they said. It's like, well, if you don't do this, your daughter is going to commit suicide. And it's
there was so much
it's quite scary.
Emotional blackmail.
Oh, definitely. Oh, yeah. Geez. I mean, yeah. What did they say? Would you rather have a dead daughter or an alive transgender son?
Yeah.
If that's not emotional manipulation, I don't know what is. That's insane, hey. And they're finding out now that the suicide rates are higher when the person has transitioned, because so many of them are now dealing or can't deal with the added issues that have come with with the fact that they've now transitioned. And so that's also very scary. So it's not helping.
I'm actually trying to find how much the industry is worth, as to the whole, the detransitioning industry worth, and I can't find it, but I'm sure it would be, it'll be worth a lot of money. Just
think now. It does now. If you think of it from the surgery and the surgeons and the hospital's point of view, they're winning. They're winning either way. They win if the person wants to get cosmetic surgery to look like a different gender, but then they win as well when the person wants to detransition, because if they decide to get detransitioning surgery or whatever, and that. either way, the surgeons and the hospitals are making money. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So it's almost like double revenue.
Well, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what
nuts.
it is.
And
Yeah.
who loses? Who loses? The patient.
A patient, yeah. Yeah.
Yes. That actually just came into my mind right now, and it's like, oh my word. Oh, it's, I don't know. It's sure. Yeah, and that's also, like we were saying, this is one of the whole detransitioning thing, and people who are regretting it is not, you don't see a lot of it being sort of pushed on social medias. The social media, it's more celebration of,
Yeah.
you know, all that, you know, live your truth. It's fine. All that kind of thing. You're stunning and brave, all that kind of thing. But it really isn't. That's the prevalent sort of attitude. But then but I think I've got a feeling the voices are going to get louder from the people who do regret it and stuff. And they're not going to be able to hide it under the mat anymore or anything like that.
So, this is now a year or two old. So this is this is 2019. Okay, so it's obviously 4 years old. So take this with the amount of money and the amount of people 4 years ago to obviously it's going to be more now.
Yeah.
It says that an estimated 1.4 million people in the US are transgender. So obviously that's going to be a lot higher. Okay, which comes at a heavy price. It says now the cost of medical treatments. Now this is in 2019. The costs of medical treatments can add up to more than $100,000, and they're often not covered by health insurance. And that's 2019.
Cheapest. So they're going to have to foot the bill themselves. And
Yeah, I mean, it says it's often not. So I would imagine the high percentage will have health insurance, but there's probably a percentage, yes, that can't afford health insurance, but they somehow afford the 100,000. I don't know how that works. But either way, it's a lot of money.
oh,
And obviously
Yeah.
that money goes towards the industry that is making sure that people do this so that they can cut their pound of flesh, like literally pound of flesh. Gross.
yeah, I'm sure that I've got a feeling that a lot of these sort of gender affirming counselors and stuff like that I wouldn't be surprised if they're getting kickbacks from hospitals, surgeons, all of that kind of thing. To actually, I wouldn't put it past people that
Oh, you think so?
or no, like the
Yeah.
gender affirming counselors would almost like be a funnel. It's like a funnel
Interesting.
and then everyone gets a kickback. Just follow the money, man. Just follow the freaking money. It's all about that.
Follow
all
the
about the
freaking money. Yeah,
Show me.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's part. I don't think it would be all, but I mean, it's definitely a possibility.
You know what? Considering how much faith I've lost in humanity, I don't put it past them.
You don't put it past them.
Buggeration, my power's just gone off. Damn it! Hold on, let me open my windows.
What
quickly.
is going on with your country, Bruce?
Oh, it's 8:00. It's load shedding. I didn't realize. It's okay.
You never realize.
It's okay. Hold on. I've got.
Oh, there we go. We can see you.
Yeah, I've taken so because it's warmer now. I've taken all the like the blankets and stuff I had on my window to keep the heat in. So now I have light in my room again.
Well, there we go. All right. Just gonna play a little bit more just to add to our conversation.
Born biologically female, I began transitioning and taking hormones when I was 18 years old. Growing up, I couldn't pinpoint what my issues were, and then I realized that it might be a gender issue. When I turned 18, I did go to Planned Parenthood. I just stated that I had gender dysphoria, and they gave me testosterone a week later. Before I went on hormone therapy, I wasn't required to see any therapist or any sort of a doctor at all. So about a year and a half after I was on hormones, I decided to see a therapist about getting approval for top surgery. I walked in on one appointment for half an hour, and then she emailed my insurance for approval, just like that. Even at this point, when I was passing as a man, I still had these doubts in the back of my mind that said, what if you're wrong? What if you made a mistake? In the end, I decided not to do the surgery. At that point that I decided to detransition and live my life as a woman again. Even as an adult, it took me a long time to figure out who I was and who I wanted to be. Kids especially need to see a therapist before making any sort of permanent medical decisions like going on hormone blockers and surgeries especially. I mean, they don't even know what they want for dinner the next day, let alone what gender they are.
I quite like that part.
Which one? But
Oh, sorry, you're there. You just froze. Like, no. About children sometimes don't know what they're having for dinner, let alone who they are, kind of thing. I think that's what she said.
yeah, correct. I mean, we've spoken at length before about giving 5-year-olds the permission to choose what gender they want to be. It's like, no, no, that's what parents are there for, to decide for you when you're 5 years old, and make sure that you do think the right way. But then again, you've got other parents who don't think that. So
Yeah. Wow. Fair enough. Sure. I'm going to continue that. Just some. It's extremely helpful. Damn it! I just blocked something off. People don't want this. And there.
But I also support medical responsibility.
If you question this at all, you get labeled really quickly, correct?
You do, immediately as transphobic.
Why do you think that is?
I think that a lot of the transgender community, they push so much for acceptance that when you immediately, or anytime you start to question them, even if it's out of the goodness of your heart to try and make sure that they're making the right decision, anything that goes against their narrative is just immediately labeled as transphobic.
Now, after you started to transition, how else did you begin to change your life to live as a man?
I had changed my name. I started wearing a binder. I even moved cities because at the time I was very hesitant to actually come out to coworkers. So I moved about 4 hours away. I got a completely different job and introduced myself as a trans man.
Okay. And what happened when you began to schedule time to get a double mastectomy?
I haven't had any top surgeries, but I did get approved for it.
Okay, that's what it is. You got approved for it.
I did. I got approved. And how that worked, it was scarily easy to do because I had just called a therapist and I had scheduled one appointment, for a 30-minute session to talk about it. And I essentially walked in. I said, I identify as transgender and I want to get top surgery. And we chatted for a bit, maybe for half an hour. And at the end of the session, she wrote me an approval letter to send to my insurance. And then I got approved just like that.
When you first started...
So I'll leave it there. Anyways, so yes, and that's how easy it was for that.
Yeah, I definitely agree with her. I mean, that's scary that within a half an hour session, decisions were made.
And it's a huge choice to make. If you go with the mastectomy, I mean, it's done.
Yeah, that's it. You're there's a huge part of your femininity just being taken away right there. And yeah, it's and it's at least it's a good thing that she didn't go through with it. But it was it's scary how quickly she was actually approved for it.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
So and it's very interesting that the insurance companies are very quick to approve it as well, because it means the insurance companies, I don't know, because they're giving the money. It's surely the insurance company would be like, let's think about this. We don't want to give you all this money straight away, I don't know. And
I think also because if it happens with one person where they say, you know what, it didn't take too long, I managed to get it and my insurance paid, that's going to bounce multiple people to think, oh, these insurance guys are good. I'm going to start, I'm going to get myself and insurance company with me and done. So that's how they're making their money. Maybe they're giving away, that they're not giving all their money away.
No,
No
you're right.
ways.
You're-
No
yeah,
ways.
you're right.
Not at all. Not at all. No,
So all of
trust me,
this-
dude. With like all of their interests and things behind the scenes and no, dude.
Like I was
They're
just
making
like,
money.
Like I was just
Yeah.
saying, everyone's getting a piece of the pie, and the people who are losing out are these people that have are the actual patients. Everyone else is winning. Whether it's this,
Yeah.
it'd be interesting to know how much these gender affirming counselors are charging for a session.
Well, interesting enough, I'm actually reading an article that was linked to this whole, amount of people, who like are transgender and the amount of money it costs. And it says that for many years, doctors tried to alleviate gender dysphoria with talk therapy, but in the absence of surgeries and other medical inventions, the approach was an abysmal failure, they say. Says, who's this now? According to Joshua Safer, MD, Executive Director of the Mount Sinai Center for Transgender Medicine and Surgery. And he also is a senior faculty of a whole pile of other stuff. He says, we have suicide attempt rates of 40% among transgender people where there are no medical interventions offered. So now he's coming from a point, where he feels that to change people from going suicidal, that medical interventions will be offered, and because he says that we have suicide attempt rates of 40% amongst transgender people where there are no medical interventions offered, and so we know that's a failed strategy. And it's so you have always two sides to every story.
Yeah.
Because the other side talks about how bad the suicide rate is for people who are transgender or who are transitioning or detransitioning because it's all gotten too much.
Yeah.
And so both sides are using this suicide, mantra, but for two different reasons. And I don't know, and it's not being biased, but I would imagine that the opposite side, which is seeing it happen amongst so many transgenders or transitioning or detransitioning, etc. I would feel that the suicide rate is very high. And in fact, I was having a chat with someone recently, within the LGBTQ, group and everything, and they were saying we were just having a similar talk about suicide and so forth, and that suicide, within the LGBTQ, grouping, and they were saying that the surface hasn't even been scratched or touched in the sense of the high suicide rates or attempted suicide rate is extremely high, and they were saying with a high percentage, being with the transgenderism as well. It's very high.
Right. And is it pure the reasons for it, is it just been because of the fact that the human body is rejecting all these changes that shouldn't be made to it, and they're just all of those issues have just been
No,
compounded?
it's pretty much everything which it's everything that we saw on those videos.
Okay, all right.
If you listen to those.
Yeah, no, okay. No, I'm just checking.
No, it's everything that we just heard.
Okay.
Like all the backgrounds. I would imagine that the body thing as well. Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's definitely, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on within a person's head.
Yeah.
So yes to what you said. Sorry, I'm not laughing at you. Well, actually I was, but I didn't mean to. No,
Felt
the
like you were
point.
laughing at me.
Actually, I know it. I won't lie. Um, but yes, what you're saying is yes, but it's linked with everything else that we have been talking about this episode.
Yeah, it's so obvious that yes, you're going through like it's when you're struggling with something like gender dysmorphia, it's a mental and emotional thing, but then just those physical changes that are made just compound that. And if you think it was bad before it happened, it gets even worse because now it's actual physical and medical issues that people are
Exactly.
with.
It's mental, it's physical, and it's medical. And you've got all of those going on at the same time, and you're a young person.
Oh my word.
It's just so much. I mean, just being a youngster is like, is like overwhelming at times. I mean,
Yeah.
some of the youngsters which I work with, the one is like, you know what? I'm done with this. I want to die. And what age are they? Like 16? And it's
No.
like,
Oh
and
man.
it's like, you know what? They won't die, obviously, but at that age, everything is like so over the top, and everything is larger than it is, or larger than it feels.
Yeah.
And that's just life in general. So now add on all of this other stuff on top of it, and oh, it's huge.
Yep.
Sorry, dude. I just need to plug in my laptop. Otherwise, I'm not going to be here anymore. I forgot to plug it. It must have got pulled out. Hold on, dude. Oh, there we go. Okay. So yes. Anything else you want to add before we wrap it?
No, I don't really have any extra thoughts. I'm all thoughted out on this one.
You're all thought it out.
Yes, that's my
Thought it
language, and
out.
I'm creating a new language because that's apparently what we can do these days. So.
Yeah.
Thoughted.
Oh, there's actually a really interesting thing here. So now, and we can finish on this, I guess.
Yeah.
So, just having a chat about the whole thing of the physicians and so forth. So this is what was in an article. It's actually really, really good. That many professionals now view healthcare, including mental health care, primarily as a means of fulfilling patients' desires, whatever those are. Says that the implicit and sometimes explicit model of the doctor-patient relationship is one of contract. The physician, which is meant to be a highly competent hired syringe, it says, as it were, sells his services on demand, restrained only by the law, though he is free to refuse his services if the patient is unwilling or unable to meet his fee. And it says, here's the deal. For the patient, autonomy and service. For the doctor, money graced by the pleasure of giving the patient what he wants. If a patient wants to fix her nose or change his gender, determine the sex of unborn children, or take euphoriant drugs just for kicks, the physician can and will go to work, provided that the price is right and that the contract is explicit about what happens if the customer isn't satisfied. This vision of medicine and medical profession gets it wrong. Professionals ought to profess their devotion to the purposes and ideals that they serve. That's what makes them professionals and not just service providers. Very good. Teachers should be devoted to learning, lawyers to justice under law, and physicians to healing the sick, looking up to health and wholeness. Healing is the central core of medicine, this person says. To heal, to make whole is the doctor's primary business. But from one of these people, someone else that she was having, talking about in her article, this person's Chu's vision of medicine turns the doctor into, this is Chu, my bad. Anyways, the person says, the vision of medicine turns the doctor into someone who merely satisfies desires, even if what is done isn't good for the patient.
Yeah.
Left to their own devices, people will rarely pursue what makes them feel good in the long term. Desire and happiness are independent agents. That's good.
Yeah. because so many people are led by their emotions, it's feels before reals. So, and they want and we live in such an instant gratification time that they think that short term feel good, and then they're not really thinking about the long term consequences. Yeah.
Well, even in the same way that they even before that, they think that it's going to even make things easier or better for them, even in the beginning. And I think as we've been saying, there has to be a lot more mental there has to be a lot more mental input, like psychological or psychiatric input. They should have that in place way before a doctor says, okay, not a problem, we'll get hold of your insurance.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, on that point, thanks for listening and watching, people. Well, I mean, I guess you watch at the same time. Listening is also a good idea. Yeah. And don't do it like how Bruce watches his movies. He leaves them playing in the background and watches it like 5 times just to get through it. Yes.
I watch them in installments.
Well, I guess we can do installments, but just make sure you guys are actually watching, because we like doing this, and so do you, hopefully. So, anyways, thank you.
Cool, thank you.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Thank you for thanking me.
This has been the Spaghetti Junction podcast.
It has indeed.
Like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Engage with us in the comments. Tell us your stories. Have a chat with us.
Tell us your stories.
Yeah.
Tell us your stories? What is that? Tell us your stories. What?
Yeah.
Like what, Bruce?
I don't know.
Tell us your stories.
Maybe people have got personal experiences
with this topic. Sorry, 100%. Share and your views in general, right or wrong. Sorry, I just heard. Just tell us your stories, like an open-ended, like. Okay, yes, I'm with Bruce. Sorry, we have a comment section, guys. Please comment. Let us know your feelings about all of this, and and as you said, Bruce, tell us your stories. Yeah.
Cool. We'll catch you guys in the next one.
See you guys next episode, and thank you 100 episodes, and for everybody who stuck with us and who is part of us, even if it's for 1 episode or 99.
Yep.
Keep coming back. See you guys.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.